I wanted to start by looking backward a little bit before we talk about what comes next for Adams 14. We saw about a year ago when you came into this district a lot of optimism. You were coming in the midst of the pandemic still, and students had sort of fallen off and gotten disengaged in a lot of districts. And we remember you going door to door and finding students and encouraging them to make sure they were back in school. I wanted to ask about your optimism back then, starting your career with Adams 14 versus now, and if any of that has diminished by what's happened in recent weeks and months.
It's been quite a busy year, for sure, and I would say that optimism is now stronger because it's filled with a sense of abundance in opportunities that we have. Throughout the year, I have seen many areas in which we can get better. We can get better at getting better for our students. And we have a very strong team. My cabinet is a strong team with experts in their own areas. And I am confident that every day is going to be better for our students.
Looking back, again, not wanting to spend too much time on the past here, but for a good half of the school year, there was a lot of back and forth with MGT, the external management company. Did that distract from maybe what some of your priorities would have been at the time?
I think it distracts definitely the work, the day-to-day work. Many times I even shared with my team, if we were able to use all these hours and energy in supporting students, teachers, schools, we would be in a very different place right now. But it needed to be done. It needed to be done because we could not continue doing the same things that we were doing or allowing the things that they were doing and expecting to get better. So it needed to be done. We continue having a lot of distractions with the state right now, but we continue standing strong for what we believe is right based on the evidence that we have and for what we know is right for our students.
You've answered this question countless times, I'm sure, but what brought you to, I know your history of working in turnaround districts, what brought you here and gave you the confidence that you'd be able to turn this district around?
All my experiences brought me to being here today and for choosing Adams 14. I was even speaking with my sister the other day, and we were remembering things when we were kids, and she made a comment, even those things prepared you for where you are right now. I have many years of experience. I have learned a lot of things, and every district is different. But what I know is that districts like Adams 14 need someone that is going to be committed to the work, understanding that it's hard work. Turnaround is not for everyone, and it's hard work. So knowing the opportunities that were here. At the time, a little naive, thinking I'm going to go and collaborate with a company with experts in turnaround. I found something different. But even just knowing that I could bring something to the table, I understand the community. Being Latina myself helps me even connect with the community at a manner that another non-Latino person might be able to do. And a strong sense of let's get it right for kids. Let's get it right for kids. It has been many years of the service. We have not been serving our kids well. We are in turnaround, and I've said it many times, because of the adults, not because of the children. Our students are phenomenal. Our students deserve to have hope. Our students deserve to have great opportunities and to have the opportunities that will prepare them for a future of their choosing, not for the only thing that they can do. So that brought me here, and I fell in love with the work, with the community, and as I said before, the abundance of opportunities that we have made my commitment even stronger.
Moving on to kind of that work now and where it goes from here, you talk about adult drama getting in the way, and I understand the district is not happy and does not agree with how the state board voted last month recently. Will a lot of attention now be on appealing the loss of accreditation and things like that, or are you already looking to get moving into partnerships and student focus and where that goes next? I guess what I'm asking is, how much is still just fighting the state board's decision, and how much is, okay, let's get on track for students?
I think it's a twofold. We really need to be very strong in standing firm for what we know is right. I do understand that this is a legal arena, political arena, but also an instructional arena. So it's a twofold in the sense of we still need to focus our attention to ensuring that we get from the state the opportunity that we need to, so that we can continue educating our students, but at the same time we need to take care of our students. So we have a strong team, we have a very strong legal counsel, and I tell my team, legal counsel, you take care of that. I know I need to be involved in all pieces, but that's the nature of my position. But my first and foremost focus right now is continue supporting students, educating our students, setting up for next year, ensuring that we have the right partners, those who want to come in and work alongside with us, not to have things top down to the community, but to work alongside with us, engaging the community. Our community, we have a dismal record of simply not engaging them in the way that we should, and so that's a priority, to ensure that they are part of the decision-making process, that they are part of discussions. Because it's impacting their students, and they know their students better than any of us will ever know them. They are the parents, they are the community, and that's the focus. Right now we're having discussions with TNTP. We are engaging in contracting negotiations right now. We are bringing also some experts that will support us reimagine and redesign secondary, so that we can have additional opportunities for our students, different pathways. In large districts, you have different high schools, and then one high school focuses on one area or has one theme, another one in a different theme, and students can choose amongst different high schools. When you are in a small district, those options are not there. We must create them. They do not come naturally, so we must create them. We are working on designing different pathways for the high school, so that students within the high school can choose different themes and different pathways for their future. And for that, we have experts that we are partnering with.
A segue from there is a question I wanted to ask, which is, you're working with other districts right now, and I want to talk about how these districts have already pledged support for Adams 14. But one question that occurred to me throughout this year and this process was, why not just have other districts come in and absorb Adams 14? You point out the disadvantages that smaller districts have. Playing devil's advocate, would it not be better just to have schools be part of a larger district? Why is it that Adams 14 wants to preserve the district it has?
I think there's a lot of pride. I know there's a lot of pride in the community, and there's a lot of pride in our schools as a community. And I also know that small districts and small settings is very beneficial for many students. That's why it's also a theme of small schools and high schools right now across the nation. When you're in a small setting, it is easier for you to feel that you're part of something, that you belong somewhere. When it's a large district, it's very easy for students, especially students in poverty, to simply feel invisible. So being in a small district is also, it has its challenges, but it has its beauty as well. And we want to preserve that, and our community wants to preserve that. We want to work alongside with other districts. My neighboring districts, our neighboring districts, they have pledged support. I work very close with the superintendents, surrounding superintendents, and superintendents from far, even from other states. Wow. And it's all focused on how can we set up the community and the district, so that after I'm gone and, when I retire and there's another group of younger educators coming in, the structures that we put in place remain and are sustainable. And the only way to do that is really to involve the community, because then they own the structures. It's not the superintendent of turn.
Mm-hmm. How are you working with other neighboring districts right now, and what role will they play in Adams 14's future?
Well, first of all, I have in my speed dial superintendents in there. Hey, what do you think about this? They have much more experience in this community. They know the area much better. They've been here for years, and that's a great plus. So in an advisory role, I call them all the time. We have virtual meetings. We have in-person meetings. And we just brainstorm ideas. Okay, this is what I am encountering. This is the challenge, or this is this resource that we feel that we're not using at its potential. So tell me, let's discuss how are you working with this resource or similar resources, or how have you faced and addressed similar challenges. So I go to their districts, I visit schools with them, and it's an advisory, collegial type of dynamic, and it's very useful and very helpful. I believe that I do not have all the answers, but I know as a team we can have the answers for our students.
One thing I've wondered is, especially since I believe there may be some transportation help approved for students who need to seek out other school options, are you, and this comes back to what you talked about, parents and everyone getting involved right now and engaged, but are you at all concerned that some students are going to see what's happening and think maybe now is the time to change districts, to look to other schools? What are you hearing?
My concern is different. My concern is that with all this noise, the decisions that the state has taken is actually increasing anxiety when there's no need to. I would like to partner with the state. I would like for them to come and support us, not to make decisions that are actually impacting in a very negative way our community. I'm not concerned about students wanting to go elsewhere. I believe that all parents have choices, and I value choices. I myself have choices, and I value having choices. So I believe that's fair, and parents need to make decisions for what is right for their own children. They know their own circumstances, and parents make choices for their children. My concern is for parents who want to stay here, the extra level of anxiety, the threats that we're going to be closed when we know legally we will need even our board to agree to close or dissolve the district, and that is not there, so we know it's not going to happen. Our neighboring districts should be also in agreement with that, and they have over and over said we are not in agreement of dissolving the district, so we know legally it cannot be pursued or enforced, but yet it continues being a threat. So my question to the state is why? Why not come and then join forces rather than continue wanting to making decisions that to punish a district, to use their terms? Why the need to punish a community? Let's turn around and say, let's join forces and let's see how we can support the community.
You worked with the company MGT in the past, unsuccessfully at times. How are you looking at this new relationship with the new management company differently, and has that relationship already started, and where is that going right now?
The relationship has started. We are in negotiations to determine and go into details of the deliverables that are going to be expected. I am coming into this partnership excited, just like I started with MGT, excited, and with a great deal of accountability. I am someone who will hold partners accountable, and I will expect evidence of that progress or the deliverables, and we'll expect to have many conversations and discussions when things are not working well. How do we tweak it? Where do we need to change things so that we can continue moving forward? So I'm coming in very excited, just like I did, back in May and June when I was hired a year ago. With that excitement, I entered this one with the same level of excitement, even more, because I know also the track record of TNTP. I have been in districts and we have worked with them before. I know they are an organization with a great access to experts, which is different to the previous partner we have, and with a great deal of responsibility for doing what is right for children. So we're going to be working on the metrics, on how we're going to know on a quarterly basis, on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis that things are going well and things are going as they should go. We're not going to wait until the end of the year or two to say, oops, it's not there.
Good to hear. What do you need from parents? And I imagine that this situation, that everything that's happened has perhaps gotten more interest from people, motivated people to get a little more engaged and involved. What are you telling your community and specifically parents right now that they need to do right now?
I am telling them they continue being the parents they have been, continue sending their students home. We need students to be in school. We cannot teach or educate students if they're not coming to us to school. So we need them to continue supporting that way. Mm-hmm. We need to continue to have parents continue asking students how are things going in school, and to communicate with us as well. We need parents to know that I am interested in engaging with them in a genuine manner. I want to hear from parents, and I also need parents to hear from me that sometimes we will agree to disagree. It's not going to be easy, or it's not going to feel easy many times, but we will be making decisions that are right for children. When they're part of the discussions, I believe stakeholders, not only parents, but all stakeholders are part of discussions and are part of the decision-making process. They understand at least why we got to that decision. They may not agree at times, but they understand why we're there. And I would invite parents to be part of our meetings, to be part of the community engagements we have, and to continue being part of their kids' education.
Are there meetings planned this summer? What work now happens as school gets out now this week? What will happen over the summer that will, will the schools open in August again as normal? And what work will it take over the summer to get to that point?
Summer is the busier time for us in central office as a superintendent. I just does not get any busier, I would say. Mm-hmm. We're going to be planning with administrators. We're planning to ensure that our schools are fully staffed. We are working on professional development. Right now we're having our new partners coming in, so there are going to be a lot of meetings with them, opportunities to really ensure that we are starting the year in a better place than what we did last year, and that it's going to set up also to start in 1 year in a better place that we will start this time. So it's going to be busy. Schools will open as usual. We will remain open as the state. As I said, enforcing dissolution of a district requires certain things to be in place so that it can legally happen, and those things are not in place. And I'm speaking specifically about our board is not in agreement to dissolve the district. That is one of the things that need to be in place, and also our neighboring districts are not in agreement to dissolve the district. That is also something that needs to happen for it to take place. So we will be here, and I expect that we will be here for many years to come, and that each year will be better for our students. And for that, summer is crucial. It's going to be very busy, but it's the right work. Yeah. So it's exciting.
I do want to ask, is there anything that the state board, because you brought up how you'd rather have them working with you, and as a partner as opposed to a punisher.
Right.
What do they not understand, and what is the key thing you could leave to the community about why Adams 14 has these challenges? It's certainly not the only district that has challenges, but it is a unique district in terms of the demographics here. Non-native English speakers, immigrant communities, and it has challenges that some other districts don't have. Is there anything the state board isn't understanding about what Adams 14's unique challenges are and what you guys need to succeed?
That's a great question. I would like for the state board to see how different our district is. I know they speak about it, and I know they see the data. Yeah. But it's so much more under that data. We have an accountability system that measures student success by a test that is in English, that does not account in many times the cultural aspect of communities, does not account in many ways the first language of the students, and that puts us in many other mostly minority communities, specifically Latino communities, in a disadvantage. And we need to understand that our accountability system is broken that way. This is not the only community that is going through this kind of stressors, added stressors. I have been working in many other states, and I have focused my entire career in turnaround. And it will be very difficult to find a wealthy district or a community with wealthy families in turnaround. I'm not going to say it's not out there, but I have not seen it. There's always one common denominator: students coming from poverty, minority students. So our accountability system puts Latino, Black, and communities in poverty in a disadvantage. When the accountability system changed here in 2009, our district got in there as a turnaround district, as a district that needs turnaround. So was it the district in the community, or is the accountability system? And we're not the only community in Colorado. We have a lot of communities that are minority communities, communities in poverty that are also struggling in the accountability system. We just happen to be the one district that has 90% minority, that has a very high percentage of students in poverty, and the highest percentage of students learning other languages. Our system, accountability system here in Colorado and in the States, because I have been in other states as well, we work from a deficit mentality. We think learning a second language is a disadvantage. And our tests show that our students are in a disadvantage, rather than seeing it as an asset, as being linguistically gifted. By 5 years old, you're learning a second language. That's a gift. That is a gift that many other families pay for their own children to learn a second language. I wish the state could see it that way, and could be bold and say, enough is enough. Let's treat all of our children right. Let's treat our minority communities the way that they deserve to be treated.
As someone who was a Spanish speaker first yourself, you know that success can come from immigrants from anywhere. Does that continue to inspire you and your work, or what else is it that inspires you and tells you know these students can do well?
I am a product of bilingualism. My own daughters are a product of bilingualism, and that opens doors. It does not close them. When you're a grown-up and you're bilingual, it opens doors, but somehow in education, in school, we close them for our students. So we need to see things differently. We need to, as a community, as a state, as a nation, we need to start seeing our students differently, and we need to start thinking of bilingualism as an asset. We need to start thinking of our minority students needing supports to place them in an equal field as kids that are coming from non-minority homes or from more affluent areas, so that they can have the same opportunities. We have a lot of work to do as a community, as a state, and as a nation, but I think it can be done. We just need our policymakers and our legislation to really stop for a moment. What is it that we're doing here? And are we getting the results we want to? Because the accountability system is giving the results it was set up to do, placing minority students in a disadvantage. Yeah. Are we okay saying that is what we want? That's the question to the legislators.
Well, thank you so much for spending so much time with us today. Again, I know you're very busy at this time of year, so Dr. Loria, thank you. Good luck with everything this summer and moving forward.
Thank you, and we'll continue inviting you so that we can also be sharing the great things that are happening in our district.
Thank you.
I think that our community needs to hear the great things that are happening. Not everything is negative, despite of what the state wants to say. We're celebrating a lot of things. Today we're celebrating graduation, all this week actually. So great things are happening, and we want our community to hear about those too.